wanna pour my oil on your feet. I wanna pour my oil on your feet.
June 25th, 2021. Rya McQueen kissed her mama goodbye and said she was meeting a friend. By midnight, she called home one last time. And girl, that was it. 4 years later, her car showed up on camera, but Raia, she never did. Like, make it make sense. A 27-year-old mother of two, gospel singer, nursing assistant, just gone. And the police? They just told her family what they've been feared all along. This ain't a missing person case no more. This is a murder investigation. So what happened to Rya McQueen? Let me tell you something somebody knows. And today, we telling her story. Before we get into Rya's story, I gotta tell you why we bringing this back right now. Recently in Philadelphia, a 23-year-old woman named Kata Scott disappeared after leaving work at an assisted living facility. October 4th, 2025, she vanished. And not long after, they found human remains in a shallow grave at some abandoned school in Mount Airy. DNA confirmed it. That was Kata. When I heard about Kata, it shook me. I'm talking it hit different, because her story, it felt too familiar. It reminded me of so many other women who just disappear. Women like Rya McQueen, who went missing from Cleveland back in 2021. Raia was 27, vibrant, full of life, deeply loved. And just like Kata, her family had to watch people rally around them for a few days, maybe a week, and then the headlines moved on. But here's the thing, Raya's family, they still waiting. 4 years later, they still don't have answers. They still don't have justice. So today, we bringing Raya's story back. Because women like Kata and Rya deserve more than a trending topic. They deserve to be remembered. They deserve resolution. Period. Rya McQueen was born March 21st, 1994, right here in Cleveland, Ohio. She was the youngest of 8 children. 8, and if you ask anybody who knew her, they'll tell you the same thing. Raia had presence. She wasn't just in the room, she owned it. Her cousin Alicia described her personality like this. It matched her wardrobe. And Rya's wardrobe? Immaculate. Alicia said Rya could, quote, turn a garbage can into a photo shoot. I'm talking about the kind of confidence that made everything look like a runway. But Rya wasn't just about looking good. Nah, she had substance. She was ambitious, creative, hardworking. Once she set her mind on something, that was IT. Nobody could change it. In 2021, she was juggling multiple passions. She was working as a certified nursing assistant, taking care of people. She was also pursuing music. She sang, she rapped. And on top of all that, she was studying at Rosedale Bible College. Because for Raia, faith wasn't just a Sunday thing, it was who she was. Her Facebook page stayed filled with Bible verses and posts about God. That same year, she dropped a gospel EP called Warfare. So you can see it clear as day. Her faith wasn't just something she talked about. It was woven into everything she did. Her music, her work, her relationships. Now, Raia had been through some things. She'd gone through a divorce, something she was open about online. She described it as one of the most painful experiences of her life, said it felt like death. But even in that pain, she didn't fall apart. She turned it into testimony. She turned it into music. She showed people how faith could carry you when everything else felt like it was crumbling. And let's not forget, Raia was a mother. She had 2 young sons. Her pride and joy? She made sure those boys were just as fly and just as loved as she was. She was devoted to them in every single way. So when you look at all the positive things happening in Raia's life, her faith, her family, her music, her career, it makes 0 sense that she would just vanish. Like none. Moving on, Rosedale Bible College, where Raia was studying, was about 2 hours outside of Cleveland. During the semester, she lived on campus. But when classes ended, she came back home to be with her family. On June 25th, 2021, Raia spent most of the day at her mother's house. Nothing seemed unusual, nothing felt off. From what we know, the McQueens are a tight-knit family, the kind that shows up for each other. And at that time, Raya's mother was battling cancer. So her children made sure they were there as much as possible. That evening, after spending a few hours with her mom, Raia told her she was heading out. She said she was going to meet a friend. We don't know exactly what time she left, but she got into her 2018 silver Nissan Sentra and drove off. A few hours later, around midnight, Raia called her mom. She said she was still with her friend. That call was the last time anyone in her family heard her voice. The next day, Saturday, June 26th, Raia's family didn't hear from her at all. They called her phone multiple times. Every single call went straight to voicemail. And immediately, they knew something was wrong. See, Raia talked to her family every day, especially with her mama being sick. For an entire day to pass without contact? That didn't make sense. That wasn't Raia. So when it became clear that nobody had seen or spoken to her, Raia's family didn't waste time. They contacted the Cleveland Police Department and reported her missing. They also took to social media, posting her picture everywhere, pleading for help to find her. As the hours turned into days, panic set in. Her family was certain. Raia didn't just leave on her own, not without telling anyone, and definitely not without checking in on her 2 young sons. That was unthinkable. But like so many families in this position, the McQueens started searching on their own. They went to neighborhoods Raia was known to visit. They knocked on doors. They asked anyone who would listen if they'd seen her, if they'd seen her car. Because Raia's car, that silver Nissan Sentra, was missing too. Her family hoped that if they could just find the car, maybe they'd find her. Maybe she'd broken down, somewhere. Maybe her phone died and she couldn't reach out. They held on to hope. But girl, as the days went by with no sign of Raia and no sign of her car, that hope started to feel heavier and heavier. Then, investigators caught a break. Surveillance footage from the morning of June 26th, the day after Raia disappeared, showed her car. That silver Nissan Sentra was captured on camera driving through Cleveland. But here's where it gets real. Raia wasn't driving it. A man was behind the wheel, and investigators were able to identify him. It was Raia's boyfriend, Stan Williams. And that's not all. Another vehicle was following close behind. That car was being driven by Stan's brother, Sloan Mitchell. And there was someone else in that second car, a passenger they still haven't identified. So let me make sure we all on the same page. Raia goes missing on June 25th. The next morning, her car is on camera being driven by her boyfriend. His brother is tailing him in another car with a mystery passenger. And Raia? Nowhere to be seen. Like, make it make sense. For Raia's family, this footage was devastating. It confirmed what they feared. Something had happened to her that night. And whoever was driving her car the next morning knew exactly what went down. But even with this evidence, even with the surveillance footage clearly showing who had her car, the case didn't move forward the way her family hoped it would. There were no immediate arrests, no charges, just questions. So many questions, and not nearly enough answers. The months that followed were agonizing for Raia's family. Every day without her felt heavier than the last. Her 2 young sons kept growing. Birthdays passed, holidays came and went, and Raia's chair stayed empty. For both her family and investigators, the silence was deafening. But in the years after she disappeared, there were very few updates. When this story first broke, Raia had been missing for 7 months. Now, it's been 4 years. And aside from a few national outlets and some local media coverage, her story never really broke beyond Cleveland. Most people outside the city still don't know Raia's name. They don't know what happened to her. And that's exactly why we're here today. Because her story deserves to be heard. Her name deserves to be remembered. But hey, in June 2025, something finally shifted. In June 2025, 4 years after Raia vanished, investigators finally made an announcement that gave her family something they hadn't felt in a long time: hope.
Rajah was last seen in her silver 2018 Nissan Sentra by a busy gas station near East 131st Street and Harvard Avenue early in the morning. Hours later, city surveillance cameras captured her car, now with bullet holes in the roof and rear passenger door, being driven by someone else. It was also missing hubcaps and a license plate. Rajah and her car were never seen again.
and I think we are closer today than we ever have been. I firmly believe that we will get this case to a resolution.
Special Agent Andrew Burke with the FBI Cleveland Division and Detective Kevin Callahan with Cleveland Police gave us a major update in this investigation.
And since we last talked to you, we are now comfortable in saying that Rajah's boyfriend, who is Stan Williams, is our person of interest in this case, as well as his brother, who's Sloan Mitchell. They are somebody that we have talked to, but they are, we can say with confidence that they are certainly our persons of interest in this case.
No one has been charged in connection to Rajah's disappearance, but investigators believe Stan Williams knows what happened to her.
So is that who you believe was driving the car?
That is the boyfriend. Yeah, there's no question in regards to that. And when that car was driving away, that's when it was being followed by another car, and that would being driven by Stan's brother, Sloan. In that car with Sloan was another unidentified person that we're really pleading to try to identify.
What happened to Rajah after the video ends? Detective Callahan says Williams told them he dropped her off at a different gas station. Callahan says they are unsure whether that's true.
Do you believe she's still alive?
No, we don't believe that. Rajah was a person that talked to her family all the time. She has a couple of kids. So for somebody to go missing now for 4 years and have absolutely no contact with anybody, it doesn't look good.
And our investigation, is at a point, unfortunately, where we're trying to uncover exactly what happened to her, but we know that something did happen to her. And there's no question in this case, somebody has information.
We found Stan Williams has multiple unrelated felony convictions, including drug trafficking and weapons offenses, according to court records. And Sloan Mitchell also has unrelated convictions for drug-related charges. We reached out to both of them by phone.
Just wanted to ask if you've had anything to do with her disappearance.
No.
No? What happened to her car? Do you have any idea?
I don't have any idea. I do not know. I just know I had a good time. I went home. I mean, to be truthful at this point, after all the bad, I just hope they find her safely. To be honest, I just hope they find her safely.
In the meantime, investigators continue to search for Rajah and her car.
I want to be very clear that we have a lot of evidence in this case about what happened and when it happened. We just kind of need that last key.
Investigators believe Rajah's Nissan may have changed hands several times or wound up at a chop shop. Again, no charges have been filed in this case. Rajah would be 31 this year. Investigators need your help to bring her home.
Now let's talk about these two men investigators have their eyes on. Court records show that both Stan Williams and his brother Sloan Mitchell have prior felony convictions. We talking drugs, weapons offenses. These aren't choir boys. And when you add that context to the fact that Stan was the last person seen with Raia and the first person caught driving her car the next morning, yeah, the picture starts coming together. But here's the thing. Having a criminal record doesn't make you guilty of this. When asked why he thought he'd be considered a person of interest, Stan said, quote, "Probably because I was one of the last ones kicking it with her." When asked if he knew where her car was, he said, "I have no idea. I do not know." Then he added this, quote, "I just know I had a good time and went home. I mean, to be truthful at this point, after all the bad bleep, I just hope they find her safely. To be honest, I just hope they find her safely." Now, I'm gonna let y'all sit with that for a second. A good time. That's how he described the last night he spent with a woman who's now been missing for 4 years. A woman whose car he was caught driving the next morning. A woman whose family is still searching for answers. Make it make sense. For Raia's family, the 2025 update was a lot to process. After 4 long years, they're finally hearing words they've been dreading, that detectives no longer believe Raia is alive. But they still don't have the one thing they want most. the truth about what happened to her. And even with the new information and 2 persons of interest named, investigators made it clear their work is far from over. Detective Callahan and Agent Burke said their focus now is on building a solid case. They need enough evidence to finally bring charges against whoever is responsible for Rya's disappearance, and they're confident they're getting close. Detective Callahan said, quote, "I want to be very clear that we have a lot of evidence in this case about what happened and when it happened. We just kind of need that last key. That last key, that final piece of the puzzle that ties everything together. That's what they're searching for." Investigators say they've been following leads and revisiting old evidence using the latest technology. They've worked closely with multiple agencies, including the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, to analyze Raya's movements, her communications, and her known relationships in the days leading up to her disappearance. Detective Callahan said they're still urging anyone with information, no matter how small it might seem, to come forward. Because sometimes it's the smallest detail that cracks a case wide open. A comment someone made, a car someone saw, a conversation someone overheard. He said, quote, "We know that there are people out there who saw something or heard something. We're asking them to finally do the right thing." The FBI has a $30,000 reward in place, and both agencies say they will continue working this case until it's solved. They believe they're close. They believe the truth about what happened to Rya McQueen is within reach. But so now the question is, will someone finally speak up? Will someone finally tell what they know? For Raya's family, the pain of not knowing has never gone away. It hasn't gotten easier. If anything, it's gotten harder. Every birthday that passes, every holiday without her, every milestone her 2 sons reach without their mother there to see it. It's another reminder of everything that was stolen from them. 4 years is a long time to wait for answers, a long time to live with silence, a long time to hold on to hope when everything around you is telling you to let go. But even after all this time, Raya's family has never stopped searching. They've never stopped hoping, and they've never stopped fighting to keep her name alive. Because Rya was a daughter, she was a sister, she was a mother, and she was a woman of faith, full of love, full of light, full of life. The kind of person who deserved the world's attention when she went missing. Not just a few headlines that faded after a week. Her story, like so many others, is a reminder that every missing woman deserves to be looked for with the same urgency, the same resources, and the same compassion. It shouldn't matter what neighborhood she's from. It shouldn't matter what her background is. Every woman matters. Every life matters. Period. 4 years later, Rya McQueen is still missing. There's no justice, no arrests, and still no answers. Just questions that have lingered for way too long. Her family still wakes up every day hoping that today might be the day something changes, that someone will finally say what they know, that the silence will finally break. Because here's what we know for sure. Someone does know what happened to Rya. Someone was in that car with Sloan Mitchell. Someone saw something. Someone heard something. And until they come forward, Rya's story will not rest. Her memory deserves more than silence. Her sons deserve to know what happened to their mother. Her family deserves closure. And Rya, she deserves justice. So if you know anything about what happened to Rya McQueen, please do the right thing. Contact the FBI. Contact the Cleveland Police Department. You can remain anonymous. That $30,000 reward is still available. But more than the money, more than anything else, help bring this family peace. Help bring Rya home. Because 4 years is long enough. It's time for the truth to come out. I said what I said. Let's talk about what we know and what we still don't know. Because there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, but some of them are still missing. We know Rya spent June 25th, 2021 with her mother. We know she told her family she was going to meet a friend that evening. We know she called her mom around midnight and said she was still with that friend. That was the last time her family heard her voice. We know the next morning, surveillance cameras caught her silver Nissan Sentra being driven through Cleveland. We know Stan Williams, her boyfriend, was behind the wheel. We know his brother Sloan Mitchell was following in another vehicle. And we know there was a third person in that car with Sloan, someone investigators still haven't identified. But here's what we don't know. Where is Rya? What happened between that midnight phone call and the morning her car showed up on camera without her in it? Who is that mystery passenger? And why hasn't anyone come forward with answers? Those questions have been haunting Raya's family for 4 years. And they the same questions keeping investigators up at night. That third person in the car with Sloan Mitchell? That's the key. That person saw something. They know something. And investigators are desperate to identify them. Think about it. You don't just end up in a car trailing behind someone driving a missing woman's vehicle by accident. You don't just happen to be there. You either part of what happened or you witnessed what happened. Either way, you got information. So the question is, who are you? And why haven't you said anything? Maybe you're scared. Maybe you've been told to keep quiet. Maybe you think too much time has passed and it doesn't matter anymore. But let me tell you something. It does matter. It matters to Raya's 2 sons who are growing up without their mother. It matters to her family who can't move forward because they don't have closure. And it matters to Raia, whose life was cut short and whose story deserves to be told in full. If you that third passenger, or if you know who that person is, say something. Do the right thing, anonymously if you have to. But say something, because this family has been waiting long enough. Raya's story is one of thousands. Thousands of Black women who go missing every single year in this country. Women whose cases don't get the media attention they deserve. Women whose families have to fight just to keep their names in the headlines for more than a day or two. According to the Black and Missing Foundation, Black people make up a huge percentage of missing person cases, but you wouldn't know it based on the coverage, the resources, the urgency, or the lack of it. When a Black woman goes missing, her family often becomes the search party, the media team, the investigators, and the advocates all at once. They the ones posting flyers, they the ones organizing searches, they the ones begging people to pay attention. And that's exactly what happened with Raia. Her family didn't wait for the world to care. They made noise. They kept her name alive. They refused to let her become just another statistic. And 4 years later, they still showing up for her. That's love. That's loyalty. But it shouldn't have to be this hard. If this story has shown us anything, it's that silence protects the guilty. Silence lets people get away with things they shouldn't get away with. And silence? It keeps families like Raia's in pain for years and years. But here's the flip side. One person speaking up can change everything. One tip, one name, one detail that investigators didn't have before. That's all it takes sometimes. So if you know something about what happened to Rya McQueen, this is your moment. This is your chance to do the right thing. You don't have to go on camera. You don't have to put your name out there if you don't want to. But you do have to speak. Call the FBI. Call the Cleveland Police Department. Use the anonymous tip line if that makes you feel safer. But do something. Because that $30,000 reward, it's still sitting there waiting. And more importantly, a family is still waiting for answers. Don't let fear or loyalty to the wrong people keep you quiet. Raya's life mattered. Her sons deserve to know what happened to their mama. And her family deserves peace. As we close out Raya's story today, I want us to remember something important. Rya McQueen wasn't just a case number. She wasn't just a headline. She was a person. She was a daughter who loved her mama so much that she showed up for her every single day while she was fighting cancer. She was a mother who made sure her 2 boys knew they were loved, protected, and fly as hell. She was a sister in a family of 8 who stood by each other no matter what. She was a woman of faith who poured her heart into gospel music because she believed in something bigger than herself. She was a nursing assistant who took care of people because she had compassion. She was a student who was working toward a better future because she had dreams. And she was a woman who could, quote, turn a garbage can into a photo shoot. That's the energy she brought everywhere she went. So when we say her name, Rya McQueen, we're not just talking about a victim. We're talking about a whole entire life. A life that had purpose, a life that had value, a life that was stolen way too soon. And that life deserves justice. Period. It's been 4 years since Rya McQueen disappeared. 4 years since that midnight phone call. 4 years since her family heard her voice. And 4 years of waiting for answers that still haven't come. But her family, they not giving up. The investigators, they not giving up. And we not giving up either. Because as long as there's a chance, no matter how small, that someone out there knows something, then there's hope. Hope that the truth will finally come out. Hope that the people responsible will be held accountable. Hope that Raya's family can finally have the closure they deserve. Someone knows what happened to Rya McQueen. Someone knows where she is. Someone knows who that third passenger was. And someone out there is carrying the weight of that secret. But secrets don't stay buried forever. The truth has a way of coming to light. And when it does, and it will, justice will follow. So to Raya's family, we see you, we hear you, and we standing with you. Your fight is our fight. Raya's story is our story. And we gonna keep telling it until the whole world knows her name. To anyone with information, the time to speak is now. Don't wait another 4 years. Don't let this family suffer any longer. Do what's right. And to Rya, wherever you are, your story is being told. Your name is being remembered. And your light? It's still shining through everyone who refuses to let you be forgotten. Rest in power, Rya McQueen. Your fight for justice continues. If you have any information about the disappearance of Rya McQueen, please contact Cleveland Police Department FBI, Cleveland Field Office Anonymous. Tip line, 1-800-CALL-FBI. There is a $30,000 reward for information leading to answers in this case. You can make a difference. You can help bring Rya home. You can give this family peace. Make the call. This has been the story of Rya McQueen on Unheard Cries TV, a channel dedicated to telling the stories of victims of domestic violence and relationship crimes. Stories that deserve to be heard, remembered, and fought for. If this story moved you, share it. Spread Rya's name. Keep her memory alive. Because the more people who know her story, the more pressure there is for answers. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. And thank you for being part of the fight for justice. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Let's make sure Rya's story reaches every corner of the internet until someone finally speaks up. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and keep fighting for the unheard. Peace.